Last night you had between 4 and 6 dreams, vivid ones, entire worlds, full of people and places and feelings so real that while you were inside them, you never once doubted they were happening. And right now, you can remember almost none of it. Maybe a fragment, a face, a feeling that something happened. But the dreams themselves are gone, erased within minutes of opening your eyes. Most people assume this is just a quirk. Dreams are flimsy, the brain is tired. Of course they fade. But that's not quite right, because your brain didn't fail to record those dreams. In many cases, it deleted them on purpose. And the reason why is far stranger than forgetting. Let's start with what's actually happening while you dream. Every night, your brain cycles through stages of sleep, and the most vivid dreams happen during a phase called REM, short for rapid eye movement. It was discovered in 1953 by a researcher named Eugene Azarinsky at the University of Chicago, who noticed sleeping subjects' eyes darting back and forth beneath their lids. When he woke them, they reported dreaming. For the first time, science had a fingerprint for the dreaming brain. You move through this phase 4 or 5 times a night, and each stretch of REM gets longer toward morning, which means your richest, most cinematic dreams happen in the hours right before you wake. But here's what's strange about REM sleep. Your brain during this phase is almost as active as when you're awake. In some regions, more active. The areas that handle emotion, imagery, and sensation are firing intensely. You are, in every meaningful sense, having a full experience. So why doesn't it stick? The first part of the answer is chemistry. To turn an experience into a memory you can keep, your brain relies on a chemical called norepinephrine. It's the molecule that tags a moment as important, that tells the hippocampus, the brain's memory engine, this one matters, save it. When something shocking happens while you're awake, norepinephrine spikes, and that's why intense moments burn themselves into memory. You remember exactly where you were when you got terrible news. That's norepinephrine doing its job. But during REM sleep, that same chemical collapses to almost nothing. It drops lower than at any other point in your entire day. Your brain is generating one of the richest experiences it's capable of, and at the exact same time, it has switched off the chemical needed to record it. The dream is playing on the screen with the camera turned off. But that's only half the story, because the chemistry alone doesn't explain why dreams feel so impossible to grab the instant you wake. The brain region responsible for storing memories needs a specific kind of activity to lock an experience into long-term storage. It has to replay the moment and hand it off to the rest of the brain for safekeeping. During REM sleep, that handoff is actively suppressed. It's not that the door to memory is left open and the dream simply wanders out. The door is being held shut from the inside. And this points to something researchers have suspected for decades. The forgetting isn't a malfunction. It might be the entire point. Think about what would happen if you remembered every dream with the same clarity as real life. Your mind would be flooded with memories of things that never happened. You'd recall conversations that were never spoken, places that don't exist, people you've never met, all stored with the same weight as your actual life. You would struggle to tell what was real and what was invented while you slept. In the 1980s, the scientist Francis Crick, who co-discovered the structure of DNA, proposed a radical idea about this. He suggested that the purpose of dreaming might be to forget. That REM sleep is a kind of nightly cleanup, where the brain runs through the clutter it accumulated during the day, the useless connections, the random associations, and actively unlearns them. We dream, he argued, in order to throw things away. And remembering your dreams would mean keeping the exact garbage you were built to delete. But there's another layer to this, and it might be the strangest part of all. The way you wake up determines what you keep. Here's the problem. A dream is a memory that exists only in short-term storage. It's fragile, held for just a few minutes, before it either gets written to long-term memory or vanishes. And dreams almost never get written. So the only way you remember a dream at all is if you wake up while it's still happening and catch it before it dissolves. If you wake naturally at the end of a sleep cycle, you've usually drifted out of REM minutes earlier. The dream is already gone. But if an alarm or a noise yanks you out mid-dream, you surface holding a piece of it, and for a few seconds, it's vivid. Then you reach for your phone, you stand up, the day floods in, and you watch the fragment evaporate in real time. That fading you can actually feel is the dream failing to make the jump into permanent memory. This is why the people who remember their dreams best are often the ones who wake frequently in the night. And it's why the single most effective way to recall a dream is to lie completely still the moment you wake, eyes closed, and replay it before you move. Movement and light pull you into the waking world and slam the door on whatever you were holding. And there's evidence you can train this. People who keep a dream journal, writing down whatever they can grab the second they wake, start remembering more and more over time. Not because they're dreaming more, but because they're teaching the brain to catch the dream before it's deleted. Some of them eventually reach the strangest state of all, lucid dreaming, where you become aware that you're inside a dream while it's still happening. And the people who get there best are almost always the ones who first learned to remember. Memory is the doorway. Without it, the entire dream world stays sealed off, running every night without you ever knowing you were there. But underneath all of this sits a question that's much harder to answer. If a dream is never remembered, did it happen to you at all? For hours every night, you live through experiences as real to you in the moment as anything in your waking life. You feel fear, joy, grief, love, and then they're erased so completely that you wake up certain nothing happened. Over a lifetime, you'll spend around 6 years of your life dreaming. 6 years of vivid, felt experience that leaves almost no trace. An entire second life lived in the dark by someone who is you and forgotten every single morning. We tend to think of ourselves as the sum of what we remember, your past, your story, the moments you can replay. But there's this whole other existence running alongside it, just as full, just as felt, that your brain decided you were never meant to keep. So tonight, when you close your eyes, you'll go there again. You'll live through worlds that will feel completely real. And by the time you open your eyes tomorrow, they'll already be slipping away, deleted by the same brain that built them, leaving you with nothing but the faint sense that somewhere in the night, something happened. Something you'll never get back.